What's up? It is Esports Live on a Wednesday, reacting to day one of Titans mandatory minicamp in Easton. You were out there in the sunshine yesterday to St. Thomas Sports Park, and the hype train for Cam Ward is officially rolling. And trains are really tough to stop once they get going, and it feels like this one is off and running. So we're going to have a good conversation today, getting Easton's firsthand experience watching Cam Ward at mandatory minicamp. I will actually be out there joining Easton later on today. So we will have a show that will end earlier than normal because we have to get hustled down there by 10 Central Time. And that's
we got places to be, people.
We got places to be, sunscreen to apply, bug spray to spray, I guess, too.
You're darn right we do.
So, but no, day two of minicamp today. The rest of this week, the morning show will be reacting from the previous day's practice. So we will talk about that. Cam Ward completed how many passes in a row? Oh my goodness, this is about to get out of control.
It is.
And I want to know if I can't wait to actually see today, because I've watched last time the rookie minicamp. Now I get to see like a month later from rookie minicamp. What's the difference?
I'm very curious to hear how your opinion has changed after having seen them for that first time.
For not just Cam, right? Like, right. We'll talk more about that after the open, because we will discuss as well Jeffrey Simmons making his first appearance at the Titans facility that we know of this offseason. So it's also trivia day. So hopefully, because we have an somewhat abbreviated show, we got to be better at trivia. So let's do this.
We're going to finish on time, and then trivia is going to take us 9 minutes and 40 seconds, and it's going to make us late.
Malachi brings something up that I talked with Easton about yesterday in our call about today's show. Which, hey, I'm glad we've got people that are connecting the dots.
I see.
On this. So let's get this thing rolling, Easton. Welcome in.
Yeah, let's do it. Good morning, Austin. Good morning to everyone in the chat. Hope everyone's having a great start to your Wednesday. I know that I am getting ready to go over to the Titans facility. Juiced up for that. Juiced up for today's show because we got a lot of great things to cover on the Cam Ward hype train, which, Austin, you are right, is getting out of control. It's almost like we need him to have a bad day at some point to throw some cold water on this thing. Going to get into all of that and more, but not until you like the show on Facebook, on YouTube. Hit that like button for us. It's the easiest way for you to be a friend of the show this morning. Copy that link, send it to a buddy, send it to a family member, send it to somebody from high school that you haven't talked to in years. Just throw them the link, see what happens. We appreciate you sharing the show and liking the show and jumping in the comments and being a part of today's conversation.
Yep, so let's get it started officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports here on this Wednesday. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Easton Freeze, our Titans reporter for A to Z Sports.com. We're Nashville's on-demand sports.network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Link to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Leave us that 5-star Google review because you guys are nicer in the Google reviews than you are in the chat, except for Gary, because Gary complained about us talking about too many ad reads, like the show, subscribe, Google reviews.
But did he leave a 5-star review?
He did. He did.
Okay,
he left a 5-star Google review and said nearly verbatim that we spend more time talking about non-Titan stuff than the actual Titan stuff, which is just a flat out.
That's demonstrably false, but fair enough. As long as it comes in the form of a 5-star review, you can lie, you can say whatever you want to make it 5 stars.
Which he did. So you played that game. So got to thank our sponsors before we officially get going. They are Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or online, WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care, and our friends at Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They are local and also online at bartondrury.com. So, Easton, I'm about to give you the floor because you're going to have to recap to us all of the hype that we are hearing coming out of Cam Ward's first mandatory minicamp practice as a rookie quarterback yesterday. Again, we'll be back down there at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. I hate having to add the Ascension on there, but they paid for it. So, yeah, I feel like that's respectful.
Fair enough,
the Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park.
I never do. So
practice facility. Look, I get it when it comes to taking care of sponsors. You got to make sure that when people pay what they pay, they get what they need to get.
Sure.
So Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park, not paying us, by the way.
I was about to say, I know about taking care of my sponsors. Screw your sponsors.
I respect that. Anyway, so Jeffrey Simmons was out there for the first time. He talked about why he decided to not go to voluntary OTAs. His words were basically repeating, stuck on repeat. It was a personal decision. That was my decision.
I wanted so bad for him to just say, because I didn't want to be here, guys. Like, duh. Can we, like, for real? We're going to keep, because it was asked 17 different ways. Was it a personal decision? Was it a football decision? Was it a training decision? Was it a health decision? He just didn't want to be here. And he was trying his best not to just say that. But that's what we all understood the case to be. So, like, relax, folks. He didn't want to be here.
Which means my stance still stands on him not being a good enough leader, because it's not about Jeff. It's about the team. Because, again, just to throw this out there, because I feel like I need to follow up on it because of all the heat that I've thrown at Jeff. I'm not worried about Jeffrey Simmons' ability to get in better shape, train, to be a freaking beast, to get down to 301, to lose 20 pounds, to be more athletic, more explosive, better on his knees and his ankles and all that kind of stuff. I don't care. I trust Jeffrey Simmons there. It's about the team, and he was one guy out of 91 who were not there, and that is not good leadership, Captain Jeff. That is, I will stand by that until I'm dead. That is the fact. I truly, I believe that
10
with
toes
my
down.
soul. Like, I believe that's just bad leadership.
Fair enough, man.
That's how I feel about that. He did talk about Cam, and we'll hear from Jeff about Cam, and something that I think is interesting and fun and is not, I'm not going to hate on Jeff later on the show about that, but I did have to get that out there. So, Easton, the floor is yours. The hype train for Cam Ward. Tell us what you saw yesterday.
Right. So third time we've gotten to see, fourth time, third time for me, but fourth that everyone has gotten to see Cam Ward, once at rookie minicamp, twice at the OTAs the previous 2 weeks. And it was a pretty mundane start to the day for mandatory minicamp. They go through stretch, they go through their individual drills, they go through some special teams periods and blah, blah, blah. Then you get to the meat of the session, and we get into some 7-on-7s, some 11-on-11s. And to start the 7-on-7 periods, and no linemen, right? This is throwing against air. This is when quarterbacks should be trying things, should be, for the most part, completing almost all of their passes, for the most part, dominating the defense because they're at a significant disadvantage. The DBs are out there on an island against these receivers who know what they're doing. So on the third pass, if I'm not mistaken, of the 7-on-7 period, very early in the day, Cam Ward tries a too tight window across the middle of the field. Not quite on the mark, probably not the best decision in the world, just a little bit late if you wanted to pull the trigger on this specific ball. And Cody Barton, linebacker, gets him, picks him off. First interception that we have seen from him in open practice this year. It happens, right? But there it is. This was an example of Cam faltering. And so everyone perks up. Okay, well, there's the first interception we've seen. How does he respond? What does the rest of the day look like? Because there's something there. There's something to that. And I told you, and I wrote yesterday in an article at A2ZSports.com, that I have been actively looking for Cam to mess things up before the whistle,
mess something up,
between the whistles,
just do something
right. Right. I'm waiting for a reason to be concerned or to ask questions or anything. And obviously, there are things like on his college tape, fundamentally scouting him, that we have, he's not a perfect prospect, obviously. Nobody is. So there's that. But the things that he's done since he's been here and since I've interacted with him and since I've watched him, waiting for something to go wrong, right? Not just one, to see what he needs to work on, but two, and in this case, to see how he responds, because that's a key for these guys. And in the NFL, no matter how good you are, things go wrong. Big things go wrong. Mistakes happen. You get yourself in a hole. Cam did it a lot at college, where he would be the reason they got in a hole. And one of the biggest things that people lauded him for coming out was that he gets himself in a hole, but he's the one that drags the team back out, right? And so that's the kind of thing you're hoping translates to the NFL. And in this much smaller scale, lower stakes example of that kind of thing, he throws the interception. And then he goes 17 for 17 on his next 17 passes, and was perfect the rest of the day. He went 20 of 21 on the day. His one incompletion came before the interception. He was 14 of 14.
So I guess he had two
in the team periods. Sorry?
So he had two incompletions.
Right. One incompletion, one interception, and then 20 completions. And the 17 pass attempts he took after his interception were all completed. And I want to add, these were not fake pass attempts. These were big boy real pass attempts. It's not like he recoiled into his shell once he threw an interception and played it safe the rest of the day. And we're going to talk about that and an example of that here in a minute that I know you're going to bring up.
Right.
He continued to do exactly what Cam Ward does, which is push the ball downfield, test tight windows, take the boundary when they give you the boundary. He didn't miss a beat. He didn't change anything, and he was perfect the rest of the day. And so, the way that I want to set the table for this conversation, Austin, and then I'll toss it back to you, is that after yesterday's practice, I had a national media friend text me. I don't know if they were just checking in on the number 1 overall pick or whether or not they'd seen some of the hype from us in the media on Twitter afterwards. But we start talking about Cam Ward. How's it looking? What do you think? And, I was telling you this yesterday, when you have friends in the national media, which I'm lucky enough to have, and they lean on the local guys to get input on things that they just aren't close enough to see. And so, we trade information. And whenever they come to me asking for my opinion on a certain guy or how good a certain thing is going to be or the fantasy relevance of blah, 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 I always am careful to really temper expectations, because the last thing you want to be is like the local guy that just gets excited about everything. And it's like, oh, this guy told me Julius Chestnut was going to be a fantasy option this year. Like, you don't want to be that guy, right?
Right.
But I'm sitting there staring at my phone at the ticking cursor just for 5 minutes thinking, how can I reasonably explain what is going on so far without sounding like I think Cam Ward is football Jesus? And what I ended up coming up with was just that, like, here's how I put it to him. I said, Cam Ward might be bad at football, but he is yet to give me a reason to even wonder if he's going to be bad at football. Like, he's not, I'm still waiting on him to do something that indicates he might not be awesome and that he might not be the truth. And so far, he hasn't. And there are plenty of stumbling blocks for him to do that coming up, right? There are plenty more unpadded practices. There are plenty of padded practices. There are joint practices where I'll be going against better opponents on other teams. There are preseason instances that he's going to get some run. And then if none of that works somehow, then in September, he will surely mess something up in a big way, because that's the way that football goes, even for the best players in the league. So when that comes, that's going to be, not exciting for Titans fans, but it's going to be intriguing to see how he responds to finally something truly going bad for him. But so far, and yesterday, he had his first opportunity for things to go askew. He's been kind of perfect.
So the title of the show today is Cam Ward's making it really hard to not get too excited about him at rookie minicamp. So he's doing everything correctly, and throwing an interception is not a knock, right?
This time of year, you want to throw interceptions.
Yeah.
Because it means you're trying things. If you're not throwing interceptions, like a guy we're going to talk about here in a minute, then you're probably not using their time wisely.
And I think we're always like, this is going to be a crutch. It's going to feel like a crutch. It's not. It's just the situation that we are in. We are going to compare everything that Cam Ward does this summer, this season, to Will Levis. That's just the nature of it, right? Will Levis throws an interception early in practice tanked. Like, it's going to affect him moving forward. Just like Will Levis throws an interception or makes a bad play early in a game, he doesn't have it today. It's like, it's Will Levis, do you have it today or not, is like a starting pitcher that you pull after the first inning because not his day. We'll try again in 5 days. It's like, that's what Will Levis is. But he has those games where he goes 7 innings and gives up a run, whatever it may be. But
and yesterday was a particularly bad day. It was not good stuff. I mean, Will is every day, even on his worst days.
Will.
So clearly the best backup option, even on his worst days. So clearly the best backup option. But the distance between him and Cam is wider than the distance between him and the other backups.
That's crazy. And that's great. I mean, it's good to hear, right?
Yes.
For Cam Ward's purposes. But Jay on YouTube puts this in something that I don't think I've heard this way of explaining Will Levis yet. Will has the composure of a Looney Tunes character.
Rude. That is rude.
I mean, but we understand what he's saying.
I didn't say it was wrong.
Very clear.
I said it was rude.
I don't think it's rude at all. I think it's nice because Looney Tunes are it's a cartoon character, but
endearing characters.
Yeah, right.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah. So
they get an anvil dropped on their head and then start seeing stars.
We all understand what that means. The composure of a Looney Tunes character.
The bump, the bump that breaks through the hair. Yeah, that's what happens.
Not how you want it to be. When there's a reason the head coach in January, Easton, told you nervous system. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
They don't have that in the Looney Tunes, in the Acme area. So, all right, let's go ahead and ask it this way, because 17, right? 17 straight completions.
I believe that is the number. Yes.
Okay. So what does that mean to you? So 17 consecutive completions after an interception. What does that mean to you? And it's a super, super open-ended question, which we usually don't do because you guys can't talk with your words. You have to type with your fingers and thumbs on your devices. And it's easier when you guys have options to quickly text through. But this is an open-ended. So what does 17 consecutive completions mean to you from Cam Ward after he threw an interception? We'll get to your thoughts here in a second. What does it mean? And Strikes comes in with the negative of it means the defense sucks. I mean, maybe, but that's why I want to know, what does it mean to you? Because we'll get to some comments and some reflection of the past here in a moment. But first, I want to tell you guys about Holiday World. It's not Friday, but Easton. Oh, no,
what is happening right now?
I don't know where I put it.
What?
I had the tickets right here. I've got tickets to give away for Holiday World.
Ooh. Yeah. How do I enter?
You cannot. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
You're ineligible.
Okay.
But I think I put them. Let's see if I can find them, because Holiday World mailed. The cleaners came.
We had tickets
before the cleaners.
And the cleaners.
No, they're here. They're here.
I
know they're here. They're here. I just don't know where I put them.
They were vacuumed up and thrown away.
No, they're in my office somewhere.
Okay.
But so
when Austin finds them, we're going to give them away to somebody.
We are going to four tickets to give away to Holiday World Splash Safari. Look out on social media. That's how we're going to give those away this week. So make sure you're paying attention to A to Z Sports for Holiday World Splash Safari up in Santa Claus, Indiana, just about 2.5 hours away from where we're at in Middle Tennessee for Holiday World Splash Safari. Ticket giveaway coming this week. So catch up for that. So Easton, I will send you to the chat. What does it mean to you that Cam Ward threw 17 consecutive completions after an interception in minicamp yesterday? Open it as it gets.
Rashid says it may mean that our defense is bad, and that's true. This time of year is always difficult to tell what's good and what's bad because it's equal opposite in reactions this time of year when you're playing against yourself. And that's why them having 2 full weeks of joint practices, by the way, is I think an awesome thing this year because you get a pretty significant sample size of playing against others, not just yourself. Right. Strike also says everyone's staying negative. It means our defense sucks. Curtis says it means he has good composure. Tall Jackson says it means it's minicamp, which is true. It is minicamp. Jay says it means he has goldfish memory in the best way possible. Raz says it's because he's getting it. Jeff says it means he's a great rookie, or the Titans defense is so bad a rookie is tearing them apart. Either of those things, or both of those things could be true. Jeff, have you considered that just both of those things could be true? Darius is frustrated with those that are dismissing it out of hand, says that it means something to me that he can bounce back. And Darius, I respect that it means something to you.
It's real
Ryan
to me,
says,
damn it.
Exactly.
Reminds you of the wrestling fan.
Yeah. Ryan says this guy's a workaholic, an animal in the pocket, accurate and gifted. It's starting to make sense why they didn't trade him for a draft haul, despite how many teams made offers. So Ryan with a strong statement there. So seeing a lot of defense needs to step up, but also it means that he can keep his composure. He has a good nervous system. He responds well to adversity. That seems to be the biggest takeaways from this, that the offense won the day. But composure is the word that I'm seeing most often.
Yeah. So I think where I'm going to bring it up, because I was not there yesterday. I will be there today. Mm-hmm. So I don't know for a fact what it looked like. But I see earlier comments. Malachi says, are they the same as Mariota's stats? Just dump offs. Amnesia came back. Were those 17 completed passes checkdowns or actual passes? So this is what Easton and I talked about on the phone yesterday, kind of recapping the practice day and looking forward to this morning's show. That's what I was curious about and then it hit me in the face like a frying pan. 10 years ago, Marcus Mariota was in his rookie minicamp, his rookie training camp, and he went like 24 consecutive practices or something like that before he threw an interception.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a huge talk of that summer. Another big talk of that summer was the offset language in his contract, that he waited a long time to sign his contract because we're like, are they going to have an anti-surfing clause in his contract so he doesn't get hurt when he's back in Hawaii in the offseason, which they did. But
I believe
the offset language, all this stuff, right? It was offset language and 24 something consecutive practices without an interception. But those were very much check down Charlies. They were very conservative, very much not putting the football in harm's way. Not a lot of bang, but also not a lot of bust with the Marcus Mariota. Now, he came out like gangbusters in the first week of the season and threw 4 touchdowns, just like Will Levis did against the Bucs. And the Titans won that game, and they didn't win many games after that. So I asked Easton about that, and your answer was no, this is not. Cam Ward was out there slinging it around. He was putting it down the field, throwing it in tight windows, and passes were completed. 17.
He didn't change a thing after he threw that interception.
So what does it mean to me? I think it just means, to me, it means that Cam Ward has the right mental makeup for this role. That he has the mentality of he threw a pick, F you. I'm not going to do that again. Watch me do this. Mm-hmm. It's not like the hold my beer, because that's kind of like a disaster waiting to happen type of statement.
Reckless.
It's a, hey, watch this. Like, yeah, I got it. Like, I think it means that he has the right mental makeup to be this franchise quarterback. Doesn't mean he's going to be good, right? Mental makeup is a part of being a franchise quarterback at a high level. It's not everything, but you got to have the mental makeup to go along with the skill set, the composure. And I think he's got the right mental makeup. That's what it means to me.
Yeah, that's basically what it means to me as well. And I want us to play this clip from Jeff because he kind of alludes to it in this part of his availability yesterday. There's a smack talk element that we're going to get into, but he folds it into the fact that no matter what happens to this guy before, after, or between the whistles, nothing seems to faze him. And that's the thing that is easily the most impressive and most intriguing thing about Cam Ward to me so far, is that, jokingly throughout the draft process, I talked about how this guy seems to play football with a resting heart rate of 65 beats per minute. And that's only half of a joke. And he seems to live life that way, right? I am still, I keep saying it, but I'm still looking for something, anything in this world to get this guy off his mark, to rattle him in some way. And if he does get rattled, and I'm sure he does because he's a human being, he doesn't show it. He does a great job of not letting it impact the way that he operates. And eventually something will happen that does this. But the fact that it hasn't yet, and there have been instances so far, whether it's getting some crazy smack talk thrown your way from the best player on the team, or it's throwing an interception in practice, or it's simply just being a rookie and all of things are moving fast and bullets are flying and you're already shouldering the weight of a franchise. The expectations are sky high because you're the first overall pick. These are all things that would, and in the past have, rattled lesser players mentally, right? Guys in similar situations. And we've not seen that yet from Cam. So the fact that he can live his life so steady, so consistent, so himself, no matter what, is what's the most impressive thing about Cam for me.
Yeah, I agree. So we're going to get to the Jeff Smack Talk thing here in a second, but American Top just brought this up. All of this was said about Mariota. Nothing phases him, just so relaxed and laid back. Like, yeah, but different.
Very.
And like, I think it's also like, I can only say this from my perspective. I've learned something from every quarterback that I've seen come through here of what to look for in the next quarterback, what not to get too excited about, what's real, what's phony. And for Marcus Mariota, I think you learned the check down Charlie nature of, okay, you didn't throw a pick in practice. That's not good. Like it's okay. Like you need, like you said, Easton, you're supposed to throw picks in practice because that means you're trying stuff. You're testing things. You're building confidence in your receiver. How is a receiver supposed to know how to go up and fight for a football in a game, in a jump ball situation, if they get 0 of those reps in practice?
Right.
Like just what they've done previously. So like I've learned something. So with Marcus, what you learn in this thing is relaxed and laid back. Yes, very much so. But also Marcus was different of a laid back than Cam is. There's an intensity with Cam Ward that Marcus Mariota didn't have. Now, Marcus is a great competitor. Don't get me wrong. I've seen the guy get fired up. I've seen him make a play in training camp and turn around and like jaw in the face of a defender. And everybody's like, oh, damn, that Marcus not messing around today. Like, so like Marcus is a intense competitor, but there's something about how Cam Ward goes about everything he does that's all intense. And like you can feel the intensity that he has and the level of seriousness. He's just relaxed and calm and has that intent. It's a weird aura that has been thrown around about Cam Ward this entire process. And that is different from Marcus Mariota, just to throw that out there.
Yeah, American Tough, I would not describe Cam Ward as relaxed or laid back. I don't think those are the right words. I would describe Marcus Mariota as relaxed and laid back. And as I'm sure you recall, that was something at the time and throughout his career as a Tennessee Titan that was brought up as potentially a negative, right? Is this guy too calm, too relaxed? And that's what you're alluding to. With Cam, I don't think he's relaxed. I don't think he's laid back. I would describe him as somebody that is calm and that is constantly on a simmer. And to your point, Austin, that competitive fire in him is evident at all times. Again, whether he is on the field practicing, playing football, or talking to us off the field, it is a calm, simmering confidence that is, I think, buoyed by that competitive fire that is always blazing in him. It's the thing that gets him up out of bed at 4:30 in the morning to come to the Titans facility. It's the thing that keeps him singularly focused on football and not distracted by any of the other things in the world that a 24-year-old that just recently came into $30 million or something, get however much money he now has in his bank account, could very easily be distracted by. That is what I think the difference is between Cam Ward and somebody like Marcus. It's a fair question. It's a fair thing to point to, but I think there's a pretty marked difference here.
Here's a topic. Here's a whole show for the next couple weeks, maybe before training camp starts.
I'll write it down.
What we have learned from the Titans' previous quarterbacks and how they apply to watching Cam Ward.
Okay.
Lessons learned from Titans quarterback pasts.
Right.
And how they apply to Cam Ward.
All right.
I think that's a show we can do.
June 27th for that one.
Because I just went to the Marcus Mariota one. I've seen Jake Locker, I've seen Mariota, I've seen Fitzpatrick, seen Charlie Whitehurst, seen Mettenberger. I mean, on and on and on and on to Tannehill, to Levis, to Malik, to here. I did not see Steve in person. I was a teenager or a child. But of the people that I've covered, from Jake Locker to now, there's something I can take from it, and I think I think that could be a valuable conversation because of how it applies to what we're talking about here. Is we heard this with this guy. We heard like he looks. He's got the arm talent of Levis, right? All this stuff, right?
You did see Steve in person, though, like, right? Like you saw.
Yeah, but not like in a practice setting.
Yeah, no, I was clarifying, making sure you didn't never see Steve play football.
No, it was just like
you never covered Steve playing football.
I never covered. I was not watching Steve McNair like I've watched all these other guys in training camp, right? Which I think matters. So, all right, let's ask this. Do you have anything else to add on this conversation?
No, let's get to the snack talk.
But no, we have another question first, though.
Oh, let's get to the question then.
Because it's the excitement level. Because the title of the show is Cam Ward's making it really hard to not get too excited. So let's ask this question. What's your current excitement level for Cam Ward in his rookie season on a 1 through 10 scale? 10 being Jaden Daniels. 1 being Jamarcus Russell. Now, Jamarcus Russell only started 1 game as a rookie, first overall draft pick. Yeah, but Jaden Daniels went to the NFC Championship game. Jamarcus Russell started 1 game. I think that's a very, very good 1 through 10 basis. So where is your excitement level on Cam Ward's rookie season right now on a 1 through 10 scale First, we'll tell you guys about our friends at the Barton Drury Insurance Group. Customized solutions for all your insurance needs. This is the team you should trust when it comes to your insurance situation, whatever it may be. Zach and I are looking for our employee benefits for our A to Z Sports employees last year, shopping around, trying to find the right partner to go with. And we found Barton Drury Insurance Group, who have all types of different insurance products, not just employee benefits, but 401k planning, that you can look into. Life insurance, workers' comp, liability, auto, property, umbrella, and the old surety bond.
Love a surety bond.
Yeah, you love the surety bond. But Barton Drury Insurance Group, they are local and here in the Nashville area. They are big-time Titans fans. They're big-time sports fans in general, but they'll also take the time to create that relationship with you to make sure that you understand exactly what insurance policy you need and what you got and what you're going to get. And because it could be very daunting, very overwhelming, very intimidating insurance language. So don't just be intimidated by that. Go to the pros right here in Nashville, Barton Drury Insurance Group. They are online at bartondrury.com.
There's so much more to say, but first, make sure you've left a 5-star Google review for us this morning, and we appreciate you liking the show as well. Those are the two things you can do to help us out. Like the show, go to Google, search A to Z Sports, leave a 5-star Google review over there, and then jump back into the chat because we want to hear your thoughts on your excitement level for Cam Ward so far.
Excitement level on a 1 through 10 scale. You just heard Easton give the overview of the day yesterday from minicamp, where he only threw 2 incompletions. One was an interception. Then after the pick, 17 consecutive completions from Cam Ward, not checkdowns, but pushing the ball down the field, being aggressive, but getting the job done. Very impressive day from Cam Ward yesterday. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being Jamarcus Russell, 10 being Jaden Daniels, what is your current excitement level for Cam Ward's rookie season? Easton, what are you seeing from the chat?
Jay says 7.4. Cam and Steven and Austin and Sir Esther's all say 8. Caps says 7. Duran Lee says 4. Cam Ward is an 8, according to Caleb. Eric, 2 different Erics. The Erics are in this morning. 10 toes down. Curtis is an 8.2. Kyle says an 8. Weekend Bunny says 10. I'm not going to hide it anymore. Just going to let my Cam Ward love fly early on in the process. Guy and Jeremy and Tanner and Ashley all say 7. So 7s and 8s are the most common answer, Austin. But there are some 10s in here. I'm looking for a single. Anybody? Is there any? Because here's a 5 from Tyler. Here's a 6 from Drew. We've got some more tempered expectations so far in the chat. People keeping it on a simmer, not letting their cup boil over yet. Deborah's at a 6. Orlando's at a 6, but I've seen nothing sub 5. Oh, here we go. There's always one. MB 3, because no games have been played. Refuse to get excited.
You can still have excitement.
Not MB. He sure can't. Vols X8 says a 4. The organization still is not great. He is not as talented as Jaden. We will be a top 5 pick again. Wow. So
real quick,
Vols X8 is packing it up. Doesn't even want to see this season.
I had a comment starred from him earlier.
Did you?
It's Notepad 7v7. Calm down. And again,
that's fine.
That's the point of the show.
We'll see you back in September.
Because again, Easton, you were texted by a national media buddy. Hey, thoughts on Cam? You're sitting there going how can I not just hype this up way too much by accident? Mm-hmm. Because he's doing everything right. He's making it really, really hard on the people watching him do the job right now in June and in May previous to not have you get too excited. Like you're having to fight against your excitement, Easton.
Correct. And that's so I get it with these people that are like Vols. I mean, we talked about the people
I do
that
too.
Are funny in the offseason a couple weeks ago, and this is one of them. Like, if you just don't give a lick about it, that's fine. Please just, we'll see you in September. You can tune on out for the rest of the summer. That's fine. Do your thing. The rest of us are going to have fun and evaluate the offseason for what it is and temper our expectations. And you can catch back up with us when the games are being played.
Well, look, and Jaron says a Vols dude hating. It has nothing to do with the Vols. Okay, it doesn't. Okay, the guy's a Vols fan and a Titans fan. Who cares?
I don't know.
He used the word "we" in his comment about the Titans. He said we will be a top 5 pick again. So he is clearly a Titans fan as well. But I think the reason why people are like Vols X8 is because of what happened previously with Will Levis of drinking the Kool-Aid and then just having a sugar high and then having the sugar crash of just being the worst it could possibly have been. MB saying, yeah, Austin, it's 7-7, but the problem is trying to draw conclusions in June. Nobody's trying to draw conclusions. Like that is your interpretation, MB, of what we are saying. That's not
Austin,
what we
what
are
did I
doing
open? What did I open the show with? I said Cam Ward might be bad at football. I said Cam Ward might be bad at football, but so far he's not given me a reason to think that he is. I also said that I'm constantly looking for reasons to be concerned. Those are the opposite of conclusions. There aren't conclusions anywhere in those things. This is based on an article where in the first paragraph I write, drawing conclusions in June is a foolish thing to do. So anyone that thinks we're drawing conclusions is not paying attention.
Yeah. Vols X8 comes back and says, I'm not saying he won't be good, but this team isn't built to be in an AFC title game like Washington was. You think the Commanders
to be in a title game?
They were the second overall pick, dude. Like they sucked bad.
Dude, if I had pulled you aside on June 11th, 2024 and said, I'm telling you what, man, these Commanders are built to get to an NFC title game, you would have laughed me out of the room. Out of the room.
Yeah.
That's some outrageous revisionist history.
Again, we aren't saying that either. We've actually been trying to fight against that this offseason.
Like, the Titans aren't built to get to a title game, just like the Commanders weren't. I'm not saying, well, the Commanders weren't, so the Titans will. No, the exception the exception is not the rule. The exception proves the rule. The rule is this team's not built to be a title contender, but sometimes it happens when your quarterback rules. That's how it goes.
I mean, Ryan and I talked about this yesterday. Like, Jermaine Pratt would be somebody you would sign if you thought you could maybe put some things together like that, right?
Right.
The same thing with Jair Alexander. The Commanders traded for Marcus Lattimore mid-season because they saw what they had. Again, we're not trying to draw conclusions. We are literally asking a question right now. What is your current excitement level for Cam Ward's rookie season? One being Jamarcus Russell. He started one game. 10 being Jaden Daniels. So
I thought you were about to go number by number and give me a detailed example of every number on the chart. I was ready.
No, we
don't have time for all that.
No, I'm just going to use last year's quarterbacks to see where you would place them.
Oh, okay.
If Jaden Daniels is 10,
right,
where would Bo Nix be?
Based on what we know now or what we were expecting going in? Like how the season went? Is that what we're rating all this on? That's why Jaden's a 10?
Yeah, Jaden's a 10 because of what the season turned out.
Yeah, so I mean, Bo Nix was like an 8.
8?
Yeah.
Caleb Williams?
6.5, 7.
Drake May?
7.5, 8.
Higher than Caleb?
Yeah. I love Drake May. But that's me.
JJ McCarthy is not applicable.
Yeah, he's
Michael Penix.
4.5.
Okay.
5.
So 5. So all of those quarterbacks who played in games last year are 5 or better.
Yeah, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
Okay. Where's Cam Ward?
Penix, Caleb, May, Nix,
Daniels.
Which that's rough, but yeah. Where is Cam today? Based on what I know today, I would say he's.
Yeah, I think you're crazy on Drake May too. The chat's like, what?
I'm telling y'all didn't watch Drake last year, man. Y'all didn't watch him.
That's what everybody says. That when you didn't watch him.
Did you watch a ton of Patriots football last year?
No, I didn't. But still,
you didn't watch Drake May. Thank you for proving my point.
I just don't think it's wild.
It's not a diss. Like I'm telling you, of course you did not watch Drake May last year. You should go watch him. I would put Cam today at I feel so irresponsible. Every number in my mind feels irresponsible.
I know. I'm putting you in a spot to just make you look like an idiot or brilliant. Either way.
All right.
There's no middle ground here. You're either going to be an idiot or you're going to be brilliant.
Yeah, I know. And
it's not up to you. It's up to Cam Ward.
I'm still going to try to parse it. I'm going to say that he is I'm at a 7.5 and expecting it to go down at some point somehow.
So you're
I'm between May and Bo Nix in terms of my excitement for this year.
Okay. So like based on your personal scale, where you have Drake May much higher than most.
Yeah.
That you're between Drake May and Bo Nix.
I mean, if folks disagree with me on May, that's fine. Let's just say Nix. I think we all can understand that Knicks had a much better season than anyone expected. It was an impressive year.
And they made the playoffs.
It was probably the best year I'll ever have, but that's another topic.
I think, Bo Nix is closer to a ceiling.
I think that was a Mac Jonesian season for Bo Nix.
Right. So you're just under Bo Nix.
I'll just say it with my chest. I'm an 8. I'm on Bo Nix right now, expecting that number to drop. But he's giving me no choice. I don't want to be at an 8. I do not. It is June 11th.
You'd prefer to be way lower.
I'd prefer to be at a 6.
But he's putting you in this situation.
He's not giving me a chance to because I can't. I'm a facts and logics guy, right? Logics. That's intelligent of me. Facts and logic guy. To make an argument to be down on something, I need some evidence that I can submit into evidence for the jury to consider, for the judge to look at. And I don't have any. That's the whole point of today's show, is that he's not given me any reasons yet to be concerned. None. I'm looking for them. Every day I drive all the way to the Titans facility and I walk in with the mission to find something to question Cam Ward about. And he's not given me anything yet. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So I'll let you know when I find one.
Darren says you were all in on Levis last year at this time.
Not like this, man. I was all in on his potential. And I was talking a lot this time last year about how I felt like Levis was being set up by the rest of the team to make a leap. Now, I think we were all a little bit wrong about how good that team was going to come together. And the free agent philosophy is a whole nother conversation. But I think it's perfectly fair for me and everyone that this time last year to say, if Will's going to be an NFL player, then this is the time for him to make a jump, and he needs to make a year 1 to year 2 jump. And I felt like he could do that because of the tools that he had. I was wrong about mentally the guy that he is. And so that, to bring this all back around to Cam, that's the thing that I'm most impressed by this time of year, is when a guy that he's already demonstrating to me that mentally he has it. And I certainly underestimated the mental element of Will Levis's game. 100%. I think all of us did, but me certainly.
I think we did because it was that bad. I think it was hard to be that low on his mental makeup, because nobody wants to be that pessimistic about somebody's mental makeup. I was a Will Levis. I was anti Will Levis from draft process through, and even around this time last year, saw the things about Will Levis because Will Levis looks good in practice. He does.
I would like to point out to the people in the chat saying that I'm just the Levis guy. This time last year, during the season last year, I was a defender of Levis for the most part because everyone on this show hated him so much he gave me no choice. But I was somebody that got raked through the coals last training camp for saying on a podcast, not this one, but on a podcast, that I felt like if my grandmother had joined me to come and watch practice, or just anybody that didn't really know football, sorry to throw my grandma under the bus like that. She probably knows ball. I don't know. But if she had come with me to practice, I didn't feel like she could watch the quarterbacks knowing nothing about them and identify which one is the starter. I said I didn't think that she'd be able to say, well, that guy's obviously the best one. And I thought that was concerning, that Will Levis wasn't necessarily differentiating himself from Mason Rudolph and Malik Willis in practice last year. I got ripped for that by Braden Gall and JT Runke and Zach Lyons. So I was not all in on him all last summer. I thought that there were some concerns along those lines. And along that same line of thinking, already, as I pointed out earlier in this episode, it is very clear, unmistakably clear already, who the starting quarterback is based on watching practice reps and drills. The one that is better than the rest is impossible to miss already. And that's an encouraging thing. That is a big difference between Cam Ward and Will Levis this time last year.
Yeah. So I think my excitement level, you said 8 out of 10. And I put you in a spot to judge the other rookies from last year. I don't know enough about. I know enough that Jaden Daniels was a badass, and I know that
Sure.
Jamarcus Russell was terrible.
Loser.
Right?
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that they're 1 in 10
Yep.
in those on the scale. But like, I think for my excitement level right now, I am doing the same thing you're doing. I'm trying to slow down.
Mhm.
And I have not. You have seen now 3 practices to my 1, and I will see my second today. So I am at a 7 flat. I'm at a 7 right now
All right.
because I believe in Cam Ward. I believe in the mental makeup. I just got to see it all come together with the entire picture. So I get all that. So let's get to a quick. Wait, we have Jeff to get to. We got to get to the smack talk stuff. So we'll get to Jeffrey Simmons and his smack talk approach at Cam Ward on Jeff's first day back at the Titan facility. But real quick, the Bone and Joint Institute can take care of you whenever that injury pops up in life. boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. When an injury happens, that's where you should go to. Franklin, Tennessee, all the experts, all the resources, the equipment, the physical therapy staff and equipment there, the surgery center, all of it right there under one roof, boneandjointtn.org.
There's so much more to say, but first, make sure you have liked the show and leave a 5-star Google review for us on Google. That is a very kind thing that you can do. It is free. It's very helpful for us. So go to Google, search A to Z Sports, and leave us a 5-star review. Thank you very much.
All right. You want to tee up this Jeff video?
Sure. So just real quick, and we got to hustle here to get through the rest of the show. But Jeff yesterday was there for the first time. Another thing about Cam Ward that kind of stuck out to him, and he's going to share in this video we're going to play, is that, Jeff, we all know, is a world-class all NFL smack talker. He is known around the league for being a big smack talker. And he came in and was just giving it to Cam Ward on a play that had he been able to, legally allowed to touch the quarterback, which in practice you cannot, he would have probably gotten a sack, at the very least would have disrupted the play. And so he won on a rep against the offensive line. They're not in pads, so even that, it's all kind of phony. The point is, he got home and he wanted Cam Ward to know it. He was jawing at him, throwing some crazy stuff at him, things that I don't remember, and if I did remember, I probably couldn't say on the air. And Cam, as he was walking away and Jeff was hurling these verbal things at him, the way that he whipped around and went toe-to-toe with the best player on the team, the most veteran Titan on the team, and was giving him that smack right back, completely unfazed, and then went right back to, as we've talked about ad nauseum, throwing 17 out of 17 balls, completing them to his receivers and being perfect the rest of the day, was pretty impressive. It was impressive to Jeff, and here's what he had to say after practice about that interaction.
I said being back on the field with the guys felt good.
And you said had a little back and forth too, didn't you?
It was predetermined. Yeah. I told him, I've been hearing how much smack he talked when he get a deep ball or something, and I told him, I saw him Saturday this past weekend. I was like, I'm gonna be talking smack to you too. So, it's fun. I think at the end of the day, as you guys saw it and I saw it myself, that when you can have a guy with that much confidence as a rookie. I haven't spent that much time around Cam, and we talk going back and forth, talking smack with each other, and he was able to get back in the huddle and still throw the ball down the middle of the field. So I think that was the most impressive thing, not him talking smack to me, but I think being able to get back in the huddle, get the play to the guys, and still operate the offense, I think that was the most.
So his ability to remain unfazed is not just impressing us watching the practices, it's impressing his teammates too. So these are the breadcrumbs of the Cam Ward experience so far. They're all adding up to this excitement, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, it's the mental makeup. Like, he has the right doesn't care type.
Right.
He does not care in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see more of it. There's a lot, like the whole predetermined aspect of Jeff saying, I'm going to come at you, and Cam Ward said, all right, bring it, big boy. Like, I think that's a very impressive feat for Cam Ward. And Jeff talks nonstop all the time.
Yep.
He's never not talking out there in the practice field when he's there. So we'll talk more about that. We do have a super chat or two. King VC says, lock in like the show. And he just says, quick question for Easton. Is it Cam, or is the fact that they finally have wide receivers that can catch? We don't have time.
Right. Let me just answer this with a tease, because I don't want to leave this guy hanging. He paid to ask this question.
Yeah. We can talk about this tomorrow for sure.
Amnesia. The good news for you is that we're going to answer your question in the form of a full show probably tomorrow. But there are things about this receiving core that are really exciting. If you want a teaser of those things, I wrote about them in the article I wrote yesterday at A2ZSports.com about this pending rookie revolution at the receiver position. That is a part of it, I think. But there are some things like Calvin Ridley, who's a constant between the two. Without giving away things that we're going to talk about tomorrow, like there are things that Cam is doing with Calvin now that they're doing consistently that was a constant talking point about the inability to connect between he and Will last year.
Yeah, I've already got thoughts on that. And
so
tomorrow's show, we'll definitely do
He's
that.
got some more help, but the things that are the same already look different. So kind of yes to both questions.
Okay. Trivia time.
Let's roll.
We gotta be quick with it. We gotta be good today. We gotta have a good trivia day. We need it. Here we go.
Have to.
Shout out Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see them in Lebanon online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Easton, are you ready?
Yep, hit it.
Okay, here we go. It's now time for trivia. We got to be fast. We got to be quick. We probably need to hurry. So, all right, NFL through around the horn, and then we get to celebrity mashup. Here we go.
Chat lock in. Here we go. NFL. Mohamed Sanu was one of 3 receivers to eclipse 800 yards on this 2018 NFC team. Is that the Falcons?
I
Super
think
Bowl
it's
team that
Bengals.
year? The what?
I think it was Bengals.
Bengals?
No, NFC. Sorry.
Yeah. I think it's the Falcons.
Falcons, yeah.
In 62, Algeria gained its independence, ending this 100-plus year colonial rule from this country. Oh, man. I mean, it's Britain or France or Germany or Spain or Italy. It's one of the ones. Who colonially ruled over Algeria? Are there any Algerians in the chat? Spain? Spain sounds right.
Go Spain, yeah.
Dang. Originally running on Cartoon Network from 04 to 07, this show followed a Japanese warrior prince who wields a mystic katana. Oh man, I know this show.
No.
What's the name of it? Samurai
Cartoon
Jack? Is it Samurai Jack? If I know how to spell samurai.
This is after my Cartoon Network day. Samurai Jack from Samurai Jack's correct. Do you know how to spell samurai?
I guess not. How Samurai.
There it is.
Okay.
You had it. Yeah.
Yeesh. Bryan Cranston played a father who is wary of his daughter's new rich tech CEO boyfriend, played by James Franco in this 2016 comedy. Also know this one. What is it called? I'm going to know it the second somebody says it. I didn't watch it, but I remember the commercials for it. Why him? Yep. Why him? Music. This singer-songwriter had 4 Billboard Hot 100 #1 hits in the 80s and 90s, including Heaven and Have You Ever Really Loved a Woman? Man, I don't know.
Me either.
4 top 100 hits. Excuse me, Hot 100 hits.
What's
Chat? Bill something? That's helpful. Michael Bolton? Is that Bolton?
Brian
Adams. Yeah. That's correct. Founded in 1870 and based in Cincinnati, this popular regional brand of ice cream's logo features its name in white letters behind a red background. Oh, I need to call JT right now. He's my resident Cincinnati knower.
You have one of those?
Yeah, it's just JT is from there. This popular regional brand of ice cream from Cincinnati. I don't know. Regional Ohioan ice cream? That's the worst thing I can think of in the whole world. Graders? All right.
I think that's right. Wait, Friendlies?
Graders is not an option. Oh, but there's Graters. It's not Dairy Queen. No.
Bluebell. No, that's not the right logo.
It's not red. Skyline is chili though. I know they have ice cream, but that's chili primarily.
I would say Graders. You go with the Graders. We got to hustle.
Okay.
Hey.
This forward averaged 22 points per game with Miami and Charlotte from 91 to 98 and won a title with the Lakers in 2000. 90s basketball, not my bag.
Oh, wait.
Man. And the chat is more behind this morning than typical, which is not the
Derek
chat's fault.
Fisher.
Okay.
No.
AE. Who's AE? Alonzo.
No. Is it Derek Fisher?
You want to say Fisher?
Forward. Glenn Rice. No. Yes, Glenn Rice. Yes, Glenn Rice.
Is it one N?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Michael Penix played at this Big Ten school from 18 to
Indiana.
Indiana. I remember watching him there and thinking, there's no shot this guy's an NFL player. And that was not true. What is this? Is the middle Iggy Azalea?
I don't know.
Jason, that's a funny comment.
Lovato from Ashley.
Lovato has bigger eyes than that. Who's the guy? Is the guy like Josh Hutcherson?
The guy, I feel like he looks like a boy band guy from.
He's like if Zayn Malik put on some weight. Zayn was not.
I don't know who. Zayn. Oh, Zayn.
It's not Zendaya. Ezra Miller? He doesn't have facial hair like that. He's also skinnier than that.
I don't know who that is.
I think I'm going to try Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah, David says that.
And Iggy Azalea. We're just going to try it.
That's not Iggy. But that's fine. No.
History? Do we have a guess on this? France.
Oh, England.
England? All right.
Or Great Britain.
United Kingdom. Wrong
Damn
again. What were they? It was France. And it was Lily James and Josh Hutcherson. Yeah, it is Lily James. I should have known that too.
I don't know who that is.
She was a lead in the new Nosferatu movie, which is very good. You should go see it.
That means nothing to me. Okay, that's it for us. We are hustling down to mandatory minicamp. We'll be there shortly. Content coming all over social media. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning on a Thursday with same situation, fast trivia. And we'll get there to training camp or mini camp. I'm fumbling all over this. Buck Rising last night. Prime time. See you later. Appreciate it.